The biggest bonus pool in Samsung's history has become the company's biggest labor crisis in decades. After posting a record 47 trillion won quarterly profit riding the AI chip boom, Samsung offered its semiconductor workers a staggering $340,000 each in performance pay. They rejected it. Now the company is facing an 18-day general strike that could wipe out 30 trillion won in production, and something far harder to fix: the fracture of solidarity that once held tens of thousands of workers together. The demand sounds simple. Samsung's union wants 15% of operating profit distributed as bonuses, permanently, with no cap. That works out to roughly 45 trillion won this year alone, more than the company spends on all research and development combined. For context, competitor SK Hynix already agreed to exactly this model last year. Their workers are now pulling in close to $900,000 annually in profit-sharing payouts. Samsung's chip engineers see those numbers and ask, why not us? But here's where it gets complicated. Samsung isn't just a chip company. The same union representing semiconductor workers in Pyeongtaek also represents employees who make refrigerators, air conditioners, and smartphones. Those divisions aren't riding an AI windfall. The home appliance unit is worried about layoffs. The mobile division is fighting to stay competitive. And suddenly, the union's demand for 15% of the chip division's profits feels less like solidarity and more like a zero-sum fight between winners and losers inside the same company. Last week, the device division union formally withdrew from joint wage negotiations. Members started resigning in droves. Online forums lit up with chip workers mocking appliance workers, calling them freeloaders. One anonymous post summed up the new mood: just take as much as you can, DS division. The semiconductor arm. Forget the rest. What used to be a unified labor movement has become a civil war over who deserves what share of an AI boom that only touched one part of the business. The phrase that keeps surfacing in Korean media coverage is brutal in its clarity: solidarity is gone, only money remains. Samsung offered a one-time mega bonus to settle this quickly. The union said no, we want the SK Hynix deal, annual and uncapped. Management warned that paying out 45 trillion won in bonuses would exceed what they invest in future technology. The union countered that Samsung just crossed $1 trillion market valuation and workers deserve their cut. Both sides have a point. Neither is blinking. What makes this moment so volatile is that it's not really about fairness anymore. It's about expectations set by a competitor. SK Hynix made a bold bet last year: scrap the bonus cap, lock in 10% profit sharing for a decade, and watch your best engineers stay instead of jumping ship. It worked. Samsung is now bleeding talent to a rival that pays better and doesn't make you fight for it every contract cycle. The union knows this. Management knows the union knows this. And 40,000 workers in black shirts gathered at the Pyeongtaek campus 2 weeks ago to make sure everyone else knows it too. If the strike happens on May 21st, it won't just disrupt chip supply chains. It will mark the moment Samsung's internal contradictions became impossible to paper over. You can't be a unified company when one division prints money from AI and another worries about job cuts. You can't call it solidarity when workers in the same union are tearing each other apart online. And you can't keep the best engineers in the world if the guy across the street is getting nearly 3 times your bonus for doing the same work. Samsung built its empire on a culture of collective sacrifice and long-term thinking. What happens when that culture collides with a once-in-a-generation profit surge that only benefits a fraction of the workforce? The world's biggest chipmaker is about to find out.